Alright, so a couple days ago I talked about what if the Protoss existed in Warhammer 40k. So I kind of thought to myself, hey, wouldn't it be fun if I brought a Warhammer faction into the world of Starcraft? So this is, what if the Orks were in Starcraft? There were a lot, honestly, you could put any of the factions from Warhammer 40k of the alien factions, because I feel like if you put the Imperium of Man, it'd be kind of, well, you could. I'm getting into semantics. But basically, you could kind of throw a lot of the factions from Warhammer into the StarCraft universe, and I feel like they'd have pretty much the same results. But why did I choose the Orks? Out of all the races, why did I choose the Orks? Probably because they'd probably have the most fun in the StarCraft universe. Now, granted, it wouldn't be as many different people to fight, but a fight's a fight. You know, a good crumpin's as good as the other crump. So we're going to talk about what I think it would be like if the Orks existed in StarCraft. Now, first and foremost, I really do think the Orks being here would probably make even the Zerg, Protoss, and Terrans go, the fuck is wrong with them? And for the Orks, it'd just be like, oh, Diesel's fighting. We's likes a good crump. So, Du Bois are going to be all over the galaxy. Now, you have to understand that, like, the Orks probably have, they're not the brightest out of anyone. But let's say, for sake of argument, that in this scenario, the Orks have arrived and they're being led by Gazgathal. Now, a good old Gaz is a pretty smart orc. Well, smart in Orks terms. And, you know, the war bosses under him will probably be like, yeah, follow him, he's the biggest orc. So, I think the other thing that I think Gaz and the other, like, war bosses are going to be like, it's like fighting the Humies and the other aliens in our world, you know, in our universe. And it's not too far off. I mean, the Terrans are just a little more advanced of the Imperium of Man, minus the Space Marines. You have the Protoss, who are kind of like are pretty much like the Eldar mixed with the Tau, and you have the Zerg, which is basically the Tyranids. But no chaos. You know, there's no chaos. There's no Necrons. So it's going to be it's going to be interesting. The Orks are definitely going to spread like wildfire, and the one thing that's going to especially let's talk about like each faction's actually. Let's back it up and talk about like each faction's reaction to fighting the Orks now. Let's start with the Terrans. The Terrans, they're going to be like, who the fuck are these guys, and what are they doing? Whether it be the Confederacy or the United Earth Directorate, it doesn't matter. The Terrans are vast and have various factions under their control. So to have quintessentially an army of big hulking greenskin monsters who love nothing more than to fight, it's gonna be perplexing, to say the least, for the Terrans. The Terrans are definitely the Terran Marines are gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, they're gonna be shooting them. They're gonna go down, and the problem is the Terrans, and this could apply to like the Zerg and the Protoss as well, is that they'll need to like take their just burn the bodies, because the moment Orks arrive on your planet, good luck getting them off, because these mushrooms are gonna grow, and you're gonna have Orks forever. So I will say that the Terrans are probably gonna learn fast. They're a little smarter than the Imperium. I think the Terrans would probably learn after a few colony worlds are overrun by Orks. I think they're gonna realize, oh, we need to, like, burn the bodies. Okay. They'll probably, like, I do imagine the Terrans would also take the Orks' corpses and, like, study them, and I think that would be the moment where it's like, nothing of these beings makes sense. Like, they're just plants. They're just mushroom people. How is their anatomy working? And also, like, when they're studying their weapons, the scientists among the Terrans are going to be like, this gun for all purpose should not shoot, that vehicle should not move, what is going on? And yeah, they're gonna realize the Orcs' belief really gives them anything to do. The Protoss, on the other hand, the Protoss are going to see them as big, mindless brutes, and I do see that the Protoss are going to be very adamant on wiping them out. If they're anything, like, they're going to view the Protoss are going to view the Orks as like how they view the Zerg, in that we need to wipe these guys out no matter what. Like, we're going to stop at nothing until these things are completely glassed from the galaxy. The problem is that the Orks are going to be totally cool with that, and I think like them seeing like Zealots or Dragoons or, you know, even Archons, the Orks are going to be like, them weirdy boys is going to be fun to crump. And again, it's just going to be mind-boggling. Like, let's talk about the Zerg real fast. Like, the Zerg, I think, the Zerg are going to be interesting because the Zerg can just are very similar to the Tyranids. Like, let's not even mince words. Like, I'm not saying like they're exactly like the Tyranids, but come on, guys. The Zerg and the Tyranids have a lot in common. Now, the Zerg are going to be trying to like the Zerg. Let's actually talk about this. Could the Zerg actually like infest Orks? That is a fascinating question. Like, is it a possibility? Maybe, but I don't think their biology like the Orcs' biology would allow, you know, Cerebrits or other forms of, you know, Zerg mind control or infestation to really work. They need like a functional organism. They need like functional organs and a brain. Orcs don't really have that. Their anatomy is very simplistic, and could that work in their favor? But again, it's more essentially mushroom material than anything else. So, could it work? I would say maybe, but I'm not 100% sure if the Zergs could infest Orks. But on the same time, I'm also like, why would they want to? I don't think they'd want that in their hive minds. I do think that the Orks would definitely spread across the galaxy on a faster level, and the only one that could really match them in terms of like how fast they're moving across the galaxy is really the Zerg. So I do see like the Orks and Zerg warring it out a lot. Like, they're going to be calling them the Buggy Boys or something of that nature. And the problem is, I think they're like all three factions are going to realize the more these Orks fight, the bigger and stronger and even smarter they get. Now, would they get to like Krork size? I'd say that's pretty doubtful. But I do see like the Orks are definitely going to be definitely moving across the galaxy at a rapid pace. The only one that could, like I said, could really match them in terms of like, you know, colonization or conquering in this case would probably be the Zerg. I forgot to mention this, is that the Protoss, while they're pretty advanced, the Eldar comparison does kind of come into play because they are kind of an ancient race. They're not exactly great on the breeding thing. And the Terrans are all split up into different factions who, some of them really hate each other. So, yeah. The Orks would definitely probably move faster now that there's even less competition in the galaxy. When you really only have, counting yourself, only 4 major factions now, and the other 3 are busy fighting each other as much as they are fighting you, the Orks are probably going to run rampant, because the thing of it is, the Orks aren't really fighting on a major level of there's a level of competition that has been decreased. Before, in the Warhammer universe, they would be fighting the Necrons, the Tau, the Imperium, the Eldar, the Drakari, even Chaos. But now, you really only have 3 more factions in a wider galaxy that allows your race to even propagate even faster, now that you have more resources and a bigger galaxy with even less competition. The Orks are literally the embodiment of an invasive species coming into a planet when you really get down to brass tacks. It's kind of fascinating, really, of like, they're living mushrooms, and they spread like a fungus, really. It's fascinating to really think about. I would definitely say that the Orks would probably spread so fast that even like the other races, I'm not saying like, oh, the Zerg and Protoss and humans would all come together to fight the Green Menace. No, that's not good. That's never going to happen. Maybe some of the Terrans and Protoss do have lasting alliances, but really, there's really nothing there that can really stop the Orks from really like spreading as fast than they, even faster than they would in the Warhammer universe. So, if you have Orks, you are fucked. And not to mention, Orks love to fight, so if they lose, they're just going to come back in bigger numbers and be like, we're going to come for a bigger fight, and you kill them, you gotta kill everything to make sure it's all dead, like burn the bodies and everything. So, I honestly believe that if the Orks existed in the Starcraft universe, nothing good is going to come for everyone else. But for the Orks, it's just another day in the life of just a good old Crumpin. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you think it would be like if the Orks existed in the Starcraft universe? Do you think they'd have a great time, or do you think they could be stopped? Let me know in the comments below. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.